From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks, presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hello, everybody. Craig Sherwood here with you once again, along with Craig Durling.
Evening, everybody.
And, of course, Ross Benson.
Good morning. Hello, Burbank. We're deep in the Media District.
It's good evening, though.
We're Media District adjacent.
Might be morning for you still, actually.
Yeah. This is, you guys got to remember, I'm a night guy.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Nightcrawler. That one hair, I'm going to nab on you and your mustache. I'm going to yank that thing out.
You got to number it. Which number is it?
I don't know, but see, if I look at a
I
parallel.
know which one it is. They're all serialized, so.
One gray one that just, oh, man.
Oh, the one?
Good morning.
So we're back with you again, and just got done with our pre-dinner at Patty's, except for the problem being Heather was...
He ran away.
She's up in Seattle, so we'll see her next week. So, but good meal once again.
She's up in Seattle visiting the rain.
And I was told it was raining up there.
It tends to. Do
all the time.
Tends to do that, yeah.
Actually, it's news when there's sun up there, not when there's rain.
You have a son?
Yes.
And 4 cats.
Well, we're back with you for another edition of The Week That Was, and the week that will be our December 4th edition.
December
And
4th?
Going back to last week.
Right. You said the 6th.
When
I did, didn't I?
But that's ancient news. Nobody's actually going to hear that.
You know what it is?
I'm not going to fix that in post either.
Don't blame your tooth.
No, I don't have my tooth in, and my bifocals are not bifocaling. So to me, it looked like a 4th. But I said 6th. Are you guys with me?
No, we're not at all. Thank God.
Anyway, have we started yet?
I took my hat off, and I think I lost my
Have
hair.
we started? Pulled your brain out with it. Now you got a hat head.
So last week, not a whole lot to go over.
Oh, come on.
Tuesday and Wednesday were pretty empty days because of no council meeting and no other meetings
Literally.
last week.
Literally.
All right, they made up for it this week with a zillion meetings.
But they did have trash day last Monday. You remember that? Because in the Media District, that's when they'd pick up the trash.
They have the trash Monday every Monday, no matter what day of the year it is.
How do you like that? You must live in Burbank.
But not in the Media District.
I want the cricket sound effect button over here.
Oh, okay.
I want to push the button, the crickets.
We have that somewhere. I forgot where I put it.
All right,
I found the
We're
cricket.
opening up with a lot of energy here, people.
The last
go.
Thursday.
It must
do
be that
this.
chocolate meringue pie.
I keep trying to move on here. We keep moving off.
Ooh, chugging forward.
So last Thursday, some unfortunate news out of Burroughs where the basketball coach, Austin Pope, was fired by the school. We really don't know exactly why. We tried to reach out to him for comment, and he said all his comments will be given out through an assistant coach. So we don't know. We never heard from him, so we really don't know.
But I hear it's a personnel matter, and those are
Well,
sometimes
the school won't say a word about it, you know.
Well,
Except I will say this: when I was fired, I was not given a reason. I was just said you're fired, and that's it. So,
Well, we're not going to give you a reason either when that happens.
yeah. So I
It's
mean,
going to change the locks.
they give you whatever they give you, but it's
a weird
unfortunate,
thing.
you know. And,
Sure.
and the team's now had to forfeit a couple games since then that they were scheduled to play in a tournament, and they didn't go to the tournament, they didn't play in a game. But
yeah, but it was a tournament. Come on.
well, I'll tell you what. You tell those seniors that those games are important to them.
right.
Okay, I'm looking from the kids' point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You only get
Big deal.
30 games a year to play in, period. And you don't get to schedule new ones if other ones get canceled.
Yeah, hopefully
Because you don't have a coach.
Right. But they said they'll have a
They resolve.
they said they were supposed to have a coach in place by today. I don't know who it is, but hopefully they got somebody who's going to fill in for the rest of the year. Also on Thursday, and there's some good news. Is
News?
one
Do
coach.
we have a sound effect for good news?
No, we don't, because you didn't ask me for one.
Darn it.
There.
Where'd that come from? Didn't even
Do we have
Anyhow.
have an
trumpets?
idea where that came
Do
from.
we have trumpets?
No fanfare, no cavalcade, no.
I'd be glad to put anything in there you guys want me to put in, except,
It's your thing. It's your doohickey.
well, I don't know you're going to bring these subjects up.
Your doohickey.
I bring up
We
every
just did. We just did.
We just
This is the age of immediate gratification.
Oh,
Where's the
okay.
fix? I want it now.
Oh, I give it to you now. This is
Greg, take note. I mean, Durling, take note.
Oh, I mean,
Trumpets, fanfare.
trumpets, cavalcade, timpani. Can we get a timpani?
Ooh, how do you
Jerry
spell it?
Lewis with a
Oh,
T?
yeah. This show is off the rocks
I
today.
can't wait till we start.
it'll
It'll
be
be all
fun,
wound
won't it?
up.
Uh-oh, he's finding
Oh no, you want to say?
No, we're not going to do it. Don't do it live.
Well,
we're torturing these poor people already.
I've been trying to go on the show, and you guys keep
So
getting
the
sound
good
effects.
news from Thursday.
Okay, as well, one coach lost his job, which we're sorry about. We did pick up a new writer for my Burbank.
Now, see, that should have a timpani.
We already did that.
Lynn
Where were you?
Lipinski.
Lynn Lipinski is going to join us, and she's going to have the club beat. So if you're out there and you're involved in one of our service clubs or our nonprofits, please get a hold of her.
Oh, that's
And,
great. We got a lot of that in town.
We do.
Sorry, not
She's gonna
nightclubs,
write about-
but
She's going to write about Rotary, Kiwanis. You know, we're even thinking about giving her some of the nonprofits, BTAC, the Kids Dental Clinic, Boys and Girls Club.
she can
Family
handle. She
Service.
can handle the ribbon cuttings now.
No.
Oh, that's the Ross's beat.
That's my
That's
beat.
Ross's beat.
No, but she's an experienced writer, and we're going to have something up the next day or two on my Burbank, and I looked at it, and great.
We should have had her here in the fourth seat to introduce herself.
Well, we talked to her about that, and we're going to get her in that hot seat.
Right.
Here we go. Looking forward to that.
Hey, how's that? Does that make you guys happy?
Whenever I walk into the studio, I want to hear that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody has to stand
That was
up.
pretty good. Lynn, you got a new sound.
Well, I've got
Well, just while she's new.
unless you want a.
Wait. I thought we had.
All right. So welcome to Lynn. Looking
Okay.
forward to working with you. And
if you're a nonprofit, please,
Reach out to us.
in all honesty, we've had a problem with nonprofits and
We
clubs
don't have a problem. They just never get a hold of
Well, wouldn't that be a problem?
No.
They never contact
have
us
a-
for their events. They never contact us what's going on in their meetings and who their guests are going to be. And people might want to know that and maybe join their organizations or support
now
their
we have
organizations.
somebody to
Now we
solicit
have that.
to them. Go to them.
But we still need we still need our clubs to let us
Right.
help. Hopefully they'll get a dialogue with her and we'll find out what's going on. So
Well, having been in several service clubs, it's a real hard position because they usually what I call railroad somebody into it. They'll ask somebody.
Kind of like a PIO spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public information. It's the same thing. But, they'll elect a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, blah, blah, blah. And who would like to do communications? You can, and then,
You have a pencil.
but then the person has to write something. And all we ask, and all we've asked, who, what, when, where, and why.
Right.
It's pretty simple.
Right.
Don't let it.
There's a great free publicity source for you. Please use it.
Definitely.
Exactly. It doesn't cost you. We'll be glad to print it.
We're the local paper.
For the local,
My Burbank is the local paper.
for the local digital news source.
But
Paper.
we also have a calendar section that if people want to put their events on, it is free.
It's free also.
All they got to do is go online and put your event in.
And I get a little email.
MyBurbank.com.
And when that gets tweeted out to how many people?
48,000.
Did you count those personally?
Nope. I'm just taking your word for it.
Oh, okay. But it also goes out on our other social media. And we're on Facebook. That is social media.
Does it go on there?
Yes, it does. I
Oh.
know you don't look at Facebook.
No, I don't.
But also Ashley usually picks it up for the newsletter and for the other social media that we have.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I've
So
seen
get a
it.
hold of us and get a hold of Lynn.
Oh, that's a good one.
Lynn Lipinski.
And you know what? She has a My
Use that
Burbank.
if you want.
She has a My Burbank email address.
And what is it? You want to give it out this soon?
LLipinski@myburbank.com.
Everybody know how to spell Lipinski?
LIPINSKI.
Is there a race car driver with the same name?
I don't
Nope.
know. Can
Nope,
we get
there's
back
not.
on the tracks, please?
There's not at all. I follow racing, and there's not one of them.
No, Lipinski.
Nope.
And then
What's that
Friday
name?
happened.
Yeah,
You want me to do the show? You guys can just
we're doing pretty good. We got
let's
to
go
Friday.
to it.
We're at Friday already.
So Friday, the Burroughs football coach quit.
Oh man!
Oh, for crying out
we're losing
loud.
coaches quicker than
And well, he had a very successful year. They won the title this year, the Pacific League title. And he took a job at Westlake, which is a lot more prestigious school,
Now,
a
I got
lot
a
higher up
question.
in the divisions.
Did he come from Westlake before?
No,
Where?
he came from North Hollywood.
Just Lancashire
It's
and
west of
Burbank?
here.
Lancashire and
It's
Burbank.
west of
Right,
here.
and he's just going to go to Westlake and Thousand Oaks. I don't know.
Which lake? Toluca Lake? Because it's
Evidently
west
he
of
went from
Toluca
North
Lake.
Hollywood High to Burroughs to Westlake High.
Oh, I thought he had come from one of the lakes out there, Lake Sherwood, Lake something. He just came from Burbank and Lancashire.
He came from
look
North
like-
Hollywood. Yes.
With Hollywood High,
Yes.
we brought somebody from over the border. We have
Outside the
football coach?
bubble, yes.
I think most of our coaches
Got to
come
give
from
him a
outside.
map and where all the secret.
Well, he was only
locations
here
are.
3 years, 2 years.
Maybe 4 or 5 years.
Wait, I was covering some of that. I thought.
Well, maybe you should read our story about him leaving, and then you'd have all that information.
MyBurbank.com, Ross. MyBurbank.com. For everything
Actually,
Burbank.
Charles Rich did a very nice story. He's the one who got the scoop on it and reported it. And we hope that he has a great time on it. I will say one thing: you think the parents at Burroughs are a problem? Wait till you get those parents at Westlake.
Aren't those the ones that have a moolah dollar?
Oh, yes, they do.
Didn't they just buy half of the city of Westlake or something? They bought that golf course, and they're going to redo the golf course.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
Okay.
I'm not sure golf course you're talking about, but okay. Also on Friday, please, nobody doing fact checking on our show,
Oh,
because I don't think we have any.
big trouble.
I don't think we can check those facts for you, but
For a news outfit.
yeah.
Hey,
Don't
I
fact
covered a football game, I thought, at Harvard Westlake. Isn't it right next to the freeway or right next to
Harvard Westlake is in Studio City.
Right.
He went out to Westlake High School in the city of Westlake.
Oh, I got the two screwed up.
That's not all.
Shocker.
Now I know I don't leave Burbank.
Shocker.
once.
See, we came full circle on that. Learned everything you needed to know.
Well, also on Friday, we had the Toluca Lake Chamber of Commerce had their I guess you would call it a street fair or where their holiday in the park type of event where they closed down at Riverside
Like a tree
Drive.
lighting festival.
Yeah, they have a tree lighting. They
music.
celebrated their 100th birthday of being I don't know if it's a city or
A thing?
They're not really a city. They're
District.
I guess a district
Village.
because they are Los Angeles actually, so they're not really. But Ross, why don't you tell us about you're out there? Why don't you tell us about it?
I left Burbank. And I was the photographer for the event. And it was their Christmas tree. They did it all together, like kind of Christmas tree lighting, and celebrate their 100th anniversary of being a city. They had
So they're not a city.
oh,
They have a zip code.
do they have a separate
Do
one?
they have a zip code?
They have a couple
So
actually.
what is Toluca Lake? Is Toluca Lake
Well, what's Sun?
a village, a
what's
district?
What's Sun Valley?
a concept?
What's Sun Valley? What's Van Nuys? It's just like one of those areas.
Yeah, a borough? You'd
No,
consider
that's
Van
more of
Nuys
New
a
York.
borough, wouldn't you?
maybe a ghetto.
Well, we're not going to get critical about it, but
Okay. Wait a second.
hey, Ross is here, everybody.
I
We're
got
we're
one for you.
Tasmanian
You
devil.
guys gave me an assignment not to find out where Sherwood Lake is or Westlake, but I did do some checking for you guys, and you asked me to come back with some information about a vegetation fire and a brush fire.
Oh,
And
What's
how's
the
this working?
difference?
How's this working? Toluca Lake's 100th anniversary.
Because that would be a vegetation fire, because Toluca Lake is near a freeway, and a brush fire is larger and can grow. And there is no brush in Toluca Lake. So the difference is, they say a vegetation fire is usually along a freeway path or a center divider.
it could be a yard,
It could be.
parkway, a front
It could be
yard.
if you have low
Yeah,
vegetation.
with no risk of potential spread.
How
right?
is this working into the 100th
I don't know.
anniversary of Toluca Lake?
I
This
just
segment brought to you by Brushfire.
I just thought I'd throw that out for you.
All right.
This segment brought to you by
Oh.
irrelevant information.
Now back to Toluca Lake. They had a stage set up on Talofa. They closed off Talofa.
They had a band going around, some sort of minstrel.
Had a car parade.
Oh, they closed off Riverside Drive.
No,
Oh, they didn't.
oh, you can't. That's a major thoroughfare.
They
They
might have
closed
used it a bit,
Yes.
but
Right.
I don't think there were any closures.
They put a parade in one lane of traffic,
Okay, there you go.
but they did close off Talofa. And you know where Talofa is?
Yes.
Right next to Riverside Drive.
One street past
Well, it's-
Mariota. One street past Mariota.
It's off of Riverside Drive.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they had presentations from Supervisor Barger and Council Member Kokorian, who lives in Toluca Lake, and some other
Peeps.
politicians. But they had the Burroughs Girls Choir singing, and they had the Toluca Lake Elementary School Kickettes, or
If you follow any of the area businesses on Instagram or Facebook or anything, a lot of them posted videos and pictures from the event. So
they were giving
check
out
'em out.
all sorts of goodies.
Yeah.
Along the boulevard. So congratulations to Toluca Lake on being 100. If you keep going, you'll be bigger part of Burbank someday.
Chirp, chirp.
I guess they're going to annex Toluca Lake, I guess. I'm not sure that's on the council agenda or not to annex Toluca Lake, but we'll be watching for it.
Burbank kind of claims one end of Toluca Lake anyway.
Well, it's funny. It's Toluca Lake kind of claims Burbank.
The other way around?
Yeah, they claim Burbank all the way to Pass Avenue.
Yeah, they do. But the city...
I thought the border was Pass Avenue.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was
that would put me in
Rose,
Toluca Lake then and not
Plywood.
Burbank. But then I thought I was in Burbank in the media district, and I'm not in that either.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just...
Look how long it took you to find that out.
Yeah.
Well, you want to hear something strange? They put on banners on the light poles congratulating them on their 100th birthday all the way to Hollywood Way. Now tell me that wouldn't screw somebody up getting off the 101.
Don't they need a permit from the city of Burbank for that?
They got permission.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you didn't have to fill out a fee and all of those things
That's
that
right.
Magnolia Park had to do.
That's right. Yeah, it's just weird. I had asked about that, being on the holiday in the park committee, and then I asked, how did you guys get away with closing down a lane of traffic?
We didn't
How
ask
did you
permission.
get away with giving food out? How did you do this? And they said, you don't ask.
Right. Sometimes, like I said at dinner, sometimes it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Do it.
And I guess when the president of LA City Council lives in your district,
you got some juice?
Yeah.
Got some juice.
Well,
Like
on Saturday, let's move on to Saturday, last weekend, our fire department put together a very nice event, and they sponsored a holiday event for families of the Children's Burn Network with a very nice party at Station 11, which is the main fire headquarters. And once again, Ross, you were there, and why don't you give us a little rundown on it?
Well, there's a great article that our writer, Ashley Erickson, did that appears in myburbank.com. People should look at it. It's on today's edition, and it'll
be there forever, too.
It will. I didn't know what this event was going into it, but they, after reading Ashley's article, these kids that are...
Santa was there, as I understand.
Well, is this similar to the event they used to do at Warner Brothers Ranch? When there used to be a Warner Brothers Ranch? They used to do a children's burn thing we covered many times.
I did.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to.
I think I lost that one when I shaved my head.
I'll show them that one on my Burbank's past pages later. So
I don't remember. Sorry, I have trouble with. No, I don't. But it might have been. They've done this. This
they used to follow the caravan on the freeway. They went city to city and all those things.
No, this is totally different.
Totally from what?
That was for firefighters.
You do remember that?
Well, now that you explained it a little more, I thought a fair.
Why?
The caravan was not a fair. That was just a fireman collecting money.
Well, that's what I was asking if it had anything to do with the same organization.
No, I don't know if down the road if that is any part of the Children's Burn Network, but they're all over the United States. And these kids that have been victims, caught in fires from traffic accidents to accidents.
A lot of tragic things.
Yeah.
I hear something in my headset.
Something outside.
Oh, okay.
That could be what they call an airplane.
Oh, okay.
No, but it's a great event, great outfit because they help the families and with all the aftermath because we hear in the news, we see the headlines about the fires and that there were burn victims, but what they go through mentally and physically for maybe the rest of their lives after a significant event like that.
The rest of their lives, especially. I mean, is
amazingly dramatic and traumatic, not just that initial event. And the Children's Burn Network addresses that part of it, the stuff we don't hear about after.
An event like that would change your entire life.
It certainly can.
One day everything is fine. The next day you're going to deal with that for the rest of your life.
Yep.
I mean,
and some of these kids have surgeries continuing. But
depending on the severity of the burns and location and all that,
and how it came across
go on forever
to be here in Burbank, Retired Fire Chief Eric Garcia was part of the California Fire Chiefs Association, and he had heard about that. This took years to plan. And what I read out of Ashley's article, what was kind of neat is they used Burbank vendors for like the bounce houses and for the basketball game. And
Well, that's great. There should be no shortage of vendors for stuff like that.
well, and they use
So
local.
That's good. That's good.
Brought it all. It was kind of like Fire Service Day, a mini version of it, and we've all been at Fire Service Day. Steve Carr, one of the fire captains that has the train, and a ton of the kids love watching the train go around. It was, and they fed them local, food was provided and everything. And what was really neat was they had a tent set up in a corner before the kids left. All the kids went home with a new pair of shoes.
Great.
And
hopefully it'll happen again. This will go on next year, and we'll be able to promote it so everybody knows about it.
Do we know what happened to the other event? They stopped doing that, haven't they?
Yes. Talking to the fire chief, who was a Glendale fire chief, who's now the fire chief at Disney Fire, it ran out of steam after COVID. And to get volunteers to do that, you still have firemen getting burned. And they still, they do a golf tournament and so forth, but they don't do the caravan that we used to cover.
Well, we still think about them. You were busy on Saturday, though, because after the party at Station 11, you actually went across the street to City Hall. And
I went home and took a nap.
Okay.
And then went all the way back to City Hall.
And you shot the mayor's tree lighting ceremony. Why don't you give us a rundown on that event?
Again, I've covered the City Hall Christmas tree lighting for many years, and they've done it differently. They've had professional DJs. They've had other people, as the MC. This year, I was waiting to see who the MC was, and it was our own PIO, Jonathan Jones and Mary from PIO office. And they put on a shtick that was so funny. I didn't know Jonathan had that much humor in him, but they did a great job. They had kids from...
So you're saying Jonathan's kind of a boring guy?
Well, during the day, that's his job. PIO is boring.
Well, we talk a lot. And
we do.
As Diamondbacks.
Maybe you're boring.
I am boring.
There you go.
I absolutely am boring.
But he did a great job. All of our council... What was real nice, all of our council members were there, and our mayor, and Senator Portantino.
They were invited to this, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And Senator Menjivar, I think I pronounced that properly. She was there for her first time. There were several thousand people. They closed off Olive Avenue. And the little kids from St. Robert's sang a song. And then the larger or bigger kids from Generation did a dance.
Put on the wide shot so people can see you're actually like showing the height of...
Because we're not sure what small children and larger children look like.
Yeah, if you're watching live here, you got a visual.
So, and then guess who came and who showed up?
Who would
Santa.
that be?
Guess who?
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
And that's exactly what he said. He came in roaring on truck number 11. We could hear him coming with a police escort like that.
That almost, not to be morbid, but that almost sounds like the sound from Psycho.
Oh, yes, it does.
It can either be sleigh bells or the
Oh,
Never mind.
That's what Christmas reminds me of anyway. So
Totally different.
So Santa was there, and he did a number. Mrs. Claus had to stay back to the North Pole. She didn't come with him this year. But he did a
trouble at home, huh?
He did.
She's rapping.
He rapped a song. Santa Claus
Different rap.
rapped a song that just left everybody in hysterics. And then, guess what they did? It took 4 council members to flick the switch. That's, the tree lighting.
You know why?
Yeah, because the rest of them had to miss a meeting. Oh, no.
I'm going to say that gets them all in the picture.
Except for the mayor. Yeah, you're right. He was down with Santa counting down.
So much to do.
Oh, it was.
The logistics of a tree lighting.
And then Santa had to hide for a few minutes while they got his chair set up and some lighting and so forth. And
I can't imagine Santa hiding.
Well, he went into the rotunda.
Ah.
The
Oh, now
lineup
everybody
of
knows.
kids was down the steps of City Hall, all the way down Olive. I don't know where to, but it had to be an hour long. And instead of having the Santa in his sleigh, he was in a chair, greeting kids, giving them.
Sounds like a great turnout.
It was, and then kids could write letters to our service people. They were there, so it was a great event.
Excellent.
Nice way to kick off.
I love it. 'Cause stuff like that, it has a purpose behind it, meaning behind it. But the ones that you want to show up are the kids.
Oh,
So when the kids are there in great numbers, that's good.
and
That's
it was
good
the
stuff.
same kids. No, it was different kids, but the same little kids, not the performers.
Oh, wait,
Wait.
we go. Wide shot. How tall?
No, the little kids.
The little ones. Okay.
They didn't want to sit on
down
Santa's
there.
lap no matter what.
Oh.
They cried, but they sure wanted that candy cane. You know, that candy cane versus sitting
Well,
with
Santa can be scary for a little kid.
I beg your pardon.
How many
Merry
kids
Christmas.
run away from you every day? I don't know.
Oh.
So,
Sounds like
congratulations
Jabba the
to the
Hutt.
city for pulling off the mayor's tree lighting and for Santa making it on Truck 11. Jonathan and Mary, who they do fantastic work Monday through Friday. Saturday, Jonathan gets an A+.
Good. So they did a great job. It all came together well.
It did. Merry
Good.
Christmas.
There we go. And with that, we're going to pause for a quick break.
Have you been thinking about putting an ADU or auxiliary dwelling unit on your property? How about finally adding a room or even remodeling? Brennan Construction here in Burbank is ready to serve you. They can handle architectural plans, engineering plans, designs, and more. The owner is not only a lifelong resident of Burbank, but a proud graduate of Burbank High School. Call Brennan Construction at 818-624-0711. That's 818-624-0711, or check out their ad on myburbank.com.
All right, we're back with you again. Craig Sherwood, along with Craig Durling,
Still here, haven't been kicked
And-
out yet.
Ross Benson.
Hi there.
And
Tip of the old hat.
so last week's winner of the word of the week was Debbie Watson. So it was nice of Debbie to email us and get her $25 gift certificate to Hill Street Cafe.
Good for Debbie. I remember the word was boutique, if I
It was
recall
boutique.
correctly,
That's very.
from a week ago.
She was actually the sixth one who actually sent the word in. And-
So you don't have to be first.
No.
You just have to be one of them.
And Alexa picked number 6. There was what was it, 12 or 13? And I said, you pick a random number between 1 and 13, and that's the one we got.
Now, do we have a word coming up later?
We do have a word, yes.
You have a word. All right. So everybody has to listen,
I'm glad I went to that meeting.
right? Everybody has to listen for the word of the week,
Because it will happen.
and then email contest@myburbank.com.
And you can win a $25 gift
The
certificate.
word in there in the subject line or the word of
Yes,
the week,
put
whatever.
The word in the subject line so we can find it easily.
And then you'll be in the running for a $25 gift card for Hill Street Cafe
Yeah.
up on Glen Oaks. Good stuff.
You
I
can't go
wish I
wrong.
could win, but I'm not eligible
Nope. Employees are not eligible.
because I already know the word of the week.
That's true.
Wait, where
So-
was I? Did I go to the bathroom again?
Probably.
I
But
had,
just now?
had to fix my suspenders. That's what took so long.
Oh, boy. All right, he's back now. There we go. Okay.
So this all culminates in today. This all gets us to today.
That today.
On
The
the
week
calendar.
that will be, which is kind of happening as we speak.
The day that still is.
This week, of course, after no real meetings last week, we're loaded up with meetings this week because that's how we do things in Burbank. We just load up with meetings at the same time. But
Not if
hopefully,
you're in the arts and public places.
our Arts and Public Places canceled their meeting because I guess they wanted people to go to the Landlord Tenant Commission instead, and they met tonight. And there was only actually, I was surprised. There was only one tenant paper filed, on for
So one matter for them to
Just one
to
matter,
address.
all the rest are like, what color we want our business cards and things like that. And
This is
They don't-
an actual
They don't
tenant.
get business cards.
An actual tenant for them.
they
to-
don't.
No.
Oh, they don't get tenant. Okay, they don't get those business cards.
So
They,
they had
That's
a
on all the
tenant issue. We
agendas
know what the
usually.
tenant issue was.
I had a
Okay.
question about their rent increase.
Okay.
It was like a house on Niagara, I think.
Well, hopefully they got a satisfactory answer.
Yep. Takes us to Tuesday for the city council meeting, which is going to be at 6 p.m. at City Hall. And
Burbank City Hall?
It's one with a tree in front of it. All lit up, don't you know?
I think it was Whittier or somewhere like that. They had their lighting ceremony, and the tree went on for 10 seconds, and then it went off. It had to somebody. I was thinking of the scene in an airport where the guy pulls the runway light switch off.
It wasn't so much a tree lighting that they advertised. It was a tree lighting, not a tree staying lit.
No, that's true.
Event, right?
It did light for about 3 seconds.
But I heard the tree at the White House took a little tumble last week. Did you see that?
Just the tree?
Yes.
Just the tree.
The tree fell over the day before.
I was watching one of the news report, and they said everybody in the world that has a cell phone and everything else, and all the video cameras and all those, and not one person caught that on video.
You're kidding.
Oh,
wow.
There's got to be security cameras or something that pick that up, but they don't want to show.
They don't have security cameras.
They don't want to really.
At the White House, they don't have security cameras. No. No snipers on the roof. No anti-aircraft on the roof. No, none of that stuff goes on.
What's that red dot on your forehead? That a laser?
And that's coming from the White House.
All the way from the White House.
You would think of any tree that they would secure perfectly with wires on 4 sides.
Maybe it happened before they got that far. I don't know. I bet the house cat knocked it over. Going for an ornament.
No, wait, isn't the dog Trigger, or what was the dog that?
I don't know. Does he still have the dog that was biting everybody?
I don't think he's at the White House.
I think they have a different dog, but the same. It's still like a German Shepherd or something.
So the Secret Service guys, they don't know if it's a new dog or the old dog.
The old one in costume. They got a haircut or something.
They're probably still running from him.
Got a monocle and a mustache. No, different dog. Greg's over here. He doesn't know what to do.
I'm just trying to figure out. I've lost. We've lost total control of the show.
Who are these knuckleheads?
I'll tell you. Thanks for giving me the eggnog, Craig.
Anyway, the next thing has a picture. Got a picture.
That took up half a page.
There's a map. Did you use your own crayons for that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, look at that.
Mine got it too.
Wow.
They
look exactly the same.
Is that at my Burbank expense?
Yes, it is.
Something about the San Fernando Bikeway project.
Oh, what about it?
I don't know. Ross is probably going to tell us about it, though.
Well, I can tell you, I got contacted this week. I used to be a board member on Walk Bike Burbank. I was vice chair. And after COVID, you couldn't do much, or during COVID, they are forming again. And maybe by next week's, the week that will be the week we're going to pedal to, I'll have more information. They're doing weekly rides again.
Okay, I'll talk about this on the council agenda, though, since that's what we're kind of here for. Evidently, they're going to talk about reinstating the bike project. Now, if you remember when they put the new freeway in, the extra lane in, and they raised the railroad tracks up above Buena Vista.
On the 5.
On the 5. There's a big area just to the south of the freeway and by San Fernando. It's just kind of a dirt area all along that freeway.
Yes, along the wash.
We're going to transform that into a bike path. And that comes all the way down, according to, that's the way you print out a little map, all the way down to Empire and Victory. Now, what I didn't understand was it shows that there is a section from Empire and Victory all the way down to the Metrolink station that's a dotted line saying where the route used to be before the freeway was added to. Now, does that mean it says it's a San Fernando Bikeway segment removed due to I-5 project conflict. So that means there's no bikeway there anymore? Are they going to put something in instead? Or hopefully they're going to reinstall that or something so the bike path goes all the way to the station.
If you notice where that is, if you've driven it recently, that's where they were thinking about doing those mini houses on that piece of dirt land.
This is the land that goes right next to the animal shelter and behind the animal shelter and all the way down to the Metric station along the tracks there.
Right.
They're also talking about, they say a related project is on Chandler from the end of the bikeway to Chandler to the Metric station also. That's a section in red they want to continue also, which right now is not there.
It's not there because we thought we had the rights. They were going to abandon those railroad tracks between Mariposa and the I-5, and you can't because trains still change cars there. So they lost the rights.
I think that lumberyard still uses the trains also.
Right.
So
Right.
which is fine, but I need to do something to extend that bikeway.
You know what they call that? This is your week's useless trivia from Craig, the other Craig. An industrial spur.
Well, that's right. That's
Little pieces of track that go in between buildings and industrial areas.
How do you like that?
Industrial spur.
I didn't know that. But I've ridden.
Well, that's why you listen to the show. Find out things
Is that
you
the
don't
word
know.
of the week?
People don't realize a lot of people take the train to North Hollywood Station and ride their bike up to Glendale because there's no Metro link that goes underground to Glendale. So a lot of bike riders come up and ride Chandler. If you're on Chandler in the morning between 7 and 9, you're going to see a lot of people that get to work via the Chandler. They can't get past Victory. So that's why they're trying to.
It needs to be done.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's funny. This is a larger map. They showed all the bikeways in Burbank, and I think they need to rechange some of their thinking. One of my pet peeves is the bikeway that they say is a bikeway that goes along Pass Avenue between Alameda and Verdugo, and it's called a bike lane or a bike path. And in that bike path, the lane is literally 10 feet from the curb to the center divider. You tell me how that's a safe area for bicycle riders to ride in on that stretch on Pass Avenue? That's just nothing but dangerous.
You think it was dangerous right now while they're doing this construction at the ranch? They've taken the construction fence and moved it out.
It's like the number 2 lane almost.
It is.
Almost in traffic.
And last week I saw somebody that was handicapped wanting to get to Verdugo. They're in the lane of traffic.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize, even though it says sidewalk closed, I don't think they realize there's no sidewalk on the other side of the street.
By the time you get there, it's too late.
It's like, how many times you see there's an accident or something and they close off a street and they just send traffic wherever.
Into La La Land.
Yeah, and sometimes into dead-end streets. And because they don't care. They just say, well, this is closed right now. We're not going to help you with getting around it. This is closed. You can't go here. So, yeah, that's not very good planning. But hopefully, I'll tell you what, there's not enough room for a wheelchair and a car in that lane. Not enough room. So,
Well, and now with these scooters, these mobile, when I say scooters, meaning the ones the handicapped or older people drive.
Okay.
They're in the street all the time. I go up Verdugo, and they think that lane that is for bikes is for them. And their back is to cars coming up on them. And how safe is that?
Yeah. So I just think the city and the Transportation Commission or whoever does the bikeways, and even maybe the new, when the Burbank Walk Bike Committee decides to get going again, if maybe that should be on the agenda of to re-examine the bikeways in Burbank and come up with safer routes.
Right, the ones that already exist is to revisit
Yes.
those. Yeah.
Some of those are dangerous, I think.
Well, I will say the gentleman that kind of getting the speed going again back on Walk Bike Burbank, Craig Hemphill, former city employee, was in charge of the recycle center, used to ride his bike everywhere and literally still does. So hopefully he will.
Well, here's a little trivia for you. Our reporter who does, who's now covering the Tin Horn Flats trial and the other trial we're going to have exclusive on, which I don't want to tip off to anybody until the story comes out. He's actually takes his bike to the LA County Courthouse. He rides it to the Metrolink station and takes the Metrolink down to LA. And he says it's simple, doesn't pay for any parking or anything else. And there are ways to do it. If you have the time, and that's the whole thing. If you have the time, it's a great transportation source. But let's face it, if you put in directions from like your house to City Hall and it says 37 minutes, and then you push bus and it says an hour and 14 minutes, and then by train it might say 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's why people don't take public transportation. They don't have that extra hour and a half to do the right thing.
Well, if the groundwork was all laid out for them, I think a lot more people would get on their bike. I happen to know a city attorney that used to ride from Santa Clarita.
Have you been to New York?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been to New York before?
I have, yeah.
You can go about any block in New York, and there's a subway station, and those trains run 24/7. You can go anywhere at any time in New York.
It's convenient.
It's convenient.
And that's the whole thing.
You don't need a car.
If it's not convenient, nobody's going to do it.
So
that's why nobody uses public transportation in LA or
because here our trains run from 8 in the morning till 7 at night, and that's it. I mean, you work at late at night, or you need to go somewhere at night. Forget it. There's no public transportation for you at nighttime. So until they can figure that out, you'll never see people doing it as a way of life, unless you're working a 9-to-5 job and it's convenient for you. That's it. If it's not convenient for you, people just aren't going to do it.
Everybody's going to keep driving.
I don't know what the price of gas and insurance.
Welcome to California.
Yeah.
Ooh, the rebate for pool covers is going up.
Yes, it is. They're going to get
big news.
Rebate.
Big news.
They approve the Burbank Water and Power Board wants to move the rebates from $50 to $100 for pool covers per address. So you get a one-time rebate. And a pool cover does a lot more for you. It's going to save you money also in the fact it'll keep your heat in the pool instead of dissipating. It'll keep the water from dissipating also and running out. And it's also on most pool covers for a safety factor. Small children aren't able to fall in the pool. They'll fall on top of the pool cover. So a lot of benefits to it, and believe me, they cost a lot more than $100. So, but you know what? You get $100 back.
I'll take it.
You get a tank of gas.
Take it. And we're still talking. This is still the city council meeting for tomorrow.
That's
Tuesday.
why I have number 2. They're also going to approve a new police department wage contract, and we've always been proponents of not much to do on this one though. It wasn't not a big item as far as I didn't hear much about the police complaining about anything or anything else. Like the fire department did, and got a very good package. I'm not sure how good the police department package is, but they had a report that said that Burbank police officers are making 5.56% below the market average, sergeants 5.35% below, and lieutenants 7.39% below the market average. Now the new contract is going to bring Burbank to number 3 in the area for officers and sergeants, and number 5 for lieutenants. I'm not sure that's really a great new package. It's really going to do a lot to retain officers because there's still 2 cities above us that'll pay them more.
And usually that's the sampling of other departments that they compare them to. It's not necessarily surrounding agency. It's agencies of the same kind of serving the same population, with the same amount of officers and all that. But and this, I don't know if this is a 1-year contract, 3-year contract. What they
I didn't.
What they get over the period of the contract.
It's probably a 3-year contract. That's what they usually do.
And there are some agencies
in Southern California. It's probably a year old. They've been probably retroactive to the last contract.
Yeah. Well, if they've been running without one, but I know there are some agencies. I think in the past, Beverly Hills or Santa Monica, it's part of their contract is they always have to be number 1 in the sample. So if Burbank gets a 22% raise, they have to get it. They have to be higher. They have to
you know where I first heard of something like that? Years ago, there was a basketball player out of Georgetown named Patrick Ewing.
Heard of him.
And pretty good basketball player in college. Never, I don't think, lived up to his expectations in professional ball, though. He played for the Knicks, and they didn't seem to win many titles back then. But he had an amazing agent. His contract with the Knicks stated, anytime he's not one of the top 4 players paid in the NBA, he automatically becomes a free agent immediately. So he kept getting raises all the time when these new contracts happened. I thought that was a very smart contract.
Very clever.
So
well, I noticed this last line you have typed here. Now get a pay increase for tenure.
Right. The longer you stay in the department,
so
you're
longevity pay.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what they were having trouble with. Some of these
keeping people
exactly
because I know the agency I used to work for. They had a big problem with the 10 and 15-year officer leaving, going to other other pastures, other departments, so they really focused on benefits packages for the 10 and 15-year officer to keep them there, because that's kind of the heart of your training teams and your expertise there is that 10 to 15-year officer. You hate to leave them go, let them go.
Yeah, because what's the investment you make into that officer?
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
it comes to academy and to training and to experience, and now you're ready to
And
get
right in
back,
that-
and then they leave.
And right in that sweet spot of their career, they're kind of the most valuable. They're, like I said, they're taking up the specialty positions, the high expertise positions. They're training new officers. They're your detectives and all that. They're the valuable part of the group. So you want to keep
So maybe
them around.
the cities listened and decided this time to jump up to the plate. Like you said, we didn't get called by BPOA or no articles were run or anything, but apparently BPOA approved this new proposal.
Yeah, I didn't see any ads or campaigning for it.
I
Or,
believe it's on the agenda, the fast track agenda. What do you call it? The consent agenda.
agenda?
They're not even going to talk about it.
Well, somebody could pull it, but I don't think.
Hope not.
I'm sure our mayor will probably pull it and say.
Kind of make you wonder, but
Well, also on the agenda, I think once again this is on the consent agenda. The city is going to approve receiving $10 million, just under $10 million in funding for a new library. Although they must prove that they're going to commit the same amount of money that they're getting in the grant, which is, I guarantee you, that new civic center or city center or whatever they're calling it is going to cost a lot more than even $20 million. I'm sure that's going to be a $100 or $200 million project if they ever. And that's a huge thing down the line. So once again, I wish they wouldn't call it a library, because I think library it's so old fashioned to a point. It sends a message of books, which is fine.
What are you thinking? Like a media center
a
information center?
multimedia center, and you can have books, but you can also have.
But that's only one element of it.
You can have digital. You can have all sorts of things in there, and it's the new way of thinking, I think, for the future. We're the media capital of the world, and hey, there's always a place for books. I don't want to ever say we shouldn't have books, but libraries, the first thing in your head is books, and you don't think about all the other things you could have in there. So, I know at the Buena Vista Library they have a little center in there, and they constantly have guests in there and talking about things, and it's kind of going the multimedia way to a point, but it's still a library. And you think library, you think books. So I'd like to see it come up with a new name, and I think it's a great thing to have. But I just think it's an old fashioned. Yeah, it's like newspapers.
It needs to evolve.
You get your news on newspapers. No, you get your. We're a digital newspaper, if you want to call it that. So, new way of thinking. They're also now. This is not a consent agenda. They're actually going to have a public hearing on the Rancho Providencia Neighborhood Protection Plan, which is basically the Raising Cane's situation. And they're going to talk about the neighborhood. And we talked about in the show last week about, the measures they want to take, about speed bumps and closing down streets and all those things they want to do. So they're going to have a public hearing on it and then make decisions on it.
And this is all surrounding the Raising Cane's?
It's all because of Raising Cane's.
Really?
So they had to put
this is such an issue for me, because all of this stuff should be considered before the city signs off on all these conditional use permits for these businesses.
But they didn't need a CUP for Raising Cane's.
They didn't?
Nope. That's the problem.
Ugh.
yeah, they moved into a building.
Because you can go to any city, talk to any city that has a Raising Cane's in it, and they have the same problems every time a Raising Cane's opened.
Proactive or reactive? Burbank is not proactive when it comes to these things.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. They like to learn the hard way.
We're trying to be now. Now we're making rules for every drive-through from now on, and
which they should have done on any drive-through that's on a thoroughfare like that or residential.
Oh, it's like the SP 35. They got caught with their pants down on that one too.
They should have asked us. I'm going to let them know.
But I was told that a new Raising Cane's is opening right outside of Burbank, just west of.
Used to be what? Remember, but
well, where is it first?
It used to be at the old H Salt Fish and Chips.
Well, one of those corners. I'm not
Lancashire
sure.
and Vineland or something.
Camarillo and Lancashire and Vineland.
Worst corner in the city of North
Well, that's like a
Hollywood.
5 points or something over there, isn't it?
At least.
Yeah.
But that's where they're putting it. And the city says a lot of traffic will go that way soon, meaning Raising Cane traffic. I've driven by Raising Cane to get here every Monday. And
Well, just what they had to do to the street with the signage and the bumpers and
the
the
neighbors
stops and it's a total mess over there for one fast food place, and it doesn't work anyway because everybody's still taking lefts onto that street, just going around the island. But it's an eyesore now because of one stinking fried chicken place.
Well, when the PD were out there citing, they didn't even get off. They got off their bikes and would just.
Oh, you just wave them right over. They'll
Yep.
come to you. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why we stopped citing, but I guess we don't need the money anymore.
No, they had.
Well, they get them in event fees now.
Oh,
They get all
that's
the
true,
money they
yes.
need in event fees.
No, they had complaints about the speed up on San Fernando, and they were clocking people at 100 miles an hour.
Well, but in to your point, Craig, about the Raising Canes, if they're writing tickets to everybody that's turning into that dead end street, they're going to have cars stacked up like firewood on Olive. So it can take too long. It just stop them, inconvenience them, and educate them.
And all the cars they were writing to were no Burbank residents.
Never are.
I mean, like
Historically,
like the
the problem
criminals-
is rarely
yeah. Look at our
from in town.
look at our arrest reports. Sometime you'll see that 80% of them are not Burbank residents.
I know.
But the trick is you pull them over, educate them about the law they violated, and then you turn them around back onto Olive. They don't get to go into the restaurant. Call that the penalty box.
Besides the public hearing on that plan, we're going to get an update on gun stores. And I looked through the staff report, which is like 7,482 pages, or close to it. And they talked about all sorts of things and Second Amendment issues. And, I get it. You've got federal laws, you've got state laws, and you can't override those. But, I didn't read every single paragraph of every report, but the one thing I was kind of looking for and never saw was them putting a limit on how many gun stores can be allowed to operate in Burbank at a time. Now, I'm not saying right now we have 14. We have
Well, gun stores or FFLs?
FFL,
You mean like a brick and mortar gun store? Because I'm sure there are people that live in the city that are FFLs or have federal firearms license.
Well, these are people who can sell retail.
Okay, so they have a actual store you can go into.
Well, I think a couple of them actually have our houses.
No, what he's saying, there's a
Right.
couple that.
But they can, but they can sell.
Yeah.
And and I know we can't close any of those down. They're there legally. They're like Raising Canes. And once again,
But I thought
we're not being proactive. We are now reactive to
Well,
it.
that's the thing is there weren't too many gun stores until somebody figured out there were too many gun stores.
Right. Well, that was
So
kind
there
of
are already too many gun stores existing. We
that
can't
was
shut
kind
them
of, that
down.
was kind of us. We're the ones who brought that up.
Okay.
And we broke that story. And what I find, okay, we got 14 of them, and we can't close any of them. But why can't we have an ordinance that says we can't have more than 5 in the city? So as these gun stores close down, they can't be replaced with more gun stores, or more gun stores can't come and open up. And when we get down to 5, that's great. We get down to 4, okay, one gun store can come in and become the 5th again.
Limit them through attrition.
Right.
But that would be something for the city attorney, I would guess. But
But
just like they couldn't do anything about Raising Canes, is the zoning such that if a gun store at this address closes, does it have to be replaced with another gun store?
And
You know
I
what
thought
mean?
I
don't know
saw
how that works.
a couple of agendas ago they discussed this about zoning. And
well, that's why I looked at this agenda. I didn't see anything about it. I think, like I say, I think they, I didn't see nothing that says 3 gun stores couldn't come into Burbank tomorrow and open up if they follow the right areas and all that.
No, because
Well,
they've
there's a moratorium.
extended.
There's a current
There's a moratorium.
But when the moratorium ends, then what?
But before the
They need a
moratorium,
legal reason to say
Right.
no.
Right. So I'm saying, why not limit how many can operate in Burbank at once,
Well,
and grandfather all the ones that are currently in business until they leave.
Well, I guarantee it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for?
touchy.
Touchy
Volatile?
subject. And I guarantee there's some, the city attorney is looking at case law
Well, why?
About-
Well, you're gonna. They want to make sure all their ducks in a row because just
Right.
because
Okay.
of the topic, there's going to be diametrically opposed viewpoints on it just because
let me ask
we're
you
talking
this.
about guns.
We say there's no pot stores out in Burbank. None. Zero. How can we?
Right.
If we can say that,
Were they
why
able
can't-
to write something into the code that prevented them from opening their door?
Yes.
Okay, but that was before any of them existed.
Yes.
So none had opened, so they were able to get ahead of that one. Versus gun stores now, it might be a little murkier.
Yeah, but I just think we need to have a limit on how many can operate the
Yeah.
city at a time.
Well, again, when it comes to reactive to proactive, when LA, the city of LA, restricted LA gun stores from selling a lot of things and a lot of them closed, Burbank should have acted then
Yeah.
instead of saying, "Oh, let's wait and see what happens."
Very difficult to do this stuff after they're already in existence.
And it was funny. The reason that this whole thing came up was I would drive down Magnolia and I'd say, "There's a gun. There's another gun store. Well,
Guns and
there's a
ammo.
gun store across from that gun store.
Guns and ammo.
And
Guns
so
and ammo.
I
Guns and ammo.
started looking. I said, "How many are there?" And I asked for a report. From the licensing. How many are there in Burbank? And that's when I found out there were 14. And that's when I came up with my editorial a couple years ago, and said, "There's more gun stores in the city of Burbank than there are anywhere else in the nation."
See, a lot of people don't
five
even
half-
realize it. I mean, Big Five is a gun dealer.
Yeah.
They sell guns there.
And
Not
here's-
as many as they used to. But
Here's what they talked about also, which I've not followed up on, and I'd like to. One of the conditions the new ordinance put in, they did an ordinance before, was no minors are allowed in a gun shop now. So if you're under
or on the property.
on the property, okay.
even if they have retail
So
other
now,
than guns,
so my question is, if Big Five is a gun store, does that mean kids aren't allowed to go to Big Five anymore, or do they have a separate?
that's a good question.
Walled off area where they can't enter.
Well, because Gun World has a separate enclosed area where the firearms actually are. So in theory, somebody could walk around the rest of the store where they have other merchandise. They have a bunch of other merchandise in there.
Well,
You could be there but not go into the enclosed
But I have
firearms
been
area.
in Big Five.
Big Five
and
is
it
just a counter.
Well, but they have. Yeah, a kid can get in there, but I mean, it's how they have this new chrome stuff that.
Well, is it about
separates the
a kid getting to the firearm, or is it just about them being exposed to that
That's what I
environment?
wonder.
Well, yeah, and so that'd be interesting to find out what's, and like you said, are they allowed into the Gun World building at all, or is it just the Gun World area where the guns are?
Because Gun World, it's called Gun World, but it's a store that happens to sell guns, just like Big Five. It's a store that happens to sell guns. Walmart, forever and ever, was a store that happened to sell guns among the other things they sell. So it'd be interesting to see.
But there were quite a few. This has been going on for a year or two now, and I know they've been working.
Oh, it's a tough subject. I mean, but I think if we're going to do this, let's make sure we do it right. I just don't think we need 14 gun stores in 5.5 square. We have more gun stores in 5.5 square miles than anywhere else in the entire world.
And point very well made and taken, but they're going to want to slow walk this so they get it right, because there's going to be a fight, I think, no matter what they do.
I'm just worried that when they decide what they're going to do, 4 more gun shops are going to open in Burbank if they don't have a limit. And they can say, well, we can't do anything about that.
How long does the moratorium?
They've extended
Going
it
for
now
it?
twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're working on the big part, and
Okay.
they're coming up with continuing rules and so forth. So I do know that they're keep extending the moratorium, and it's a work in progress. I know it's a work in progress, so we'll see.
Sorry, we had some technical difficulties here we were working out. And I was trying not to distract you, but I'm glad you were the one talking, even though the camera was on Craig. Sorry about that.
TD had to do something there.
I
Is that
pushed
called-
something that I didn't know to unpush.
Is that one of those notes in the column that goes fixed during post?
Fix it in post.
Not
I
gonna
think we skated through that one. I think we're okay.
Okay, well, besides after the guns, they're going to get a review of the general fund's financial status as of September 30th. So where our funds stand, where the budget stands in the Burbank, which that means they're only going to look at 2 months, I guess, because actually 3 months, because the budget starts on July 1st, and then so going to July, August, and September, 3 months of the budget. See where it stands.
Well, usually what they ask the city treasurer is where she's putting our money.
This is not the treasurer. This is where.
Oh, finance. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, Ms. Becker is quite on top of her department, and I guarantee Burbank is in good shape.
And then finally, we have the approval of the City of Burbank Code of Conduct.
What?
What? Code of Conduct? You mean
Code of Conduct?
the word is actually 3 words?
The phrase? We have a phrase of the week?
And what's the phrase?
Code of Conduct.
Hang on. Let me get my pen out here and make sure I
Write that down for the record.
circled.
So Code of Conduct
Code of
is
Conduct.
our little phrase or words of the week. Send that in the subject line to contest@myburbank.com and enter to win a gift card for Hill Street Cafe.
Now wait.
I wish I could win.
$25.
Can they put in the line code of conduct, or does it have to just say?
I think if it goes in the subject line or in the text, or the subject line is word of the week or something, just something so you can pick it out of all the other emails you get, right?
And what's that words again?
Code of Conduct.
Okay. Well, if
Got it, everybody?
If that's not enough
If you missed this.
fanfare for you, I don't know.
And we're only halfway through the rundown.
So anyhow, they're going to take up the code of conduct.
What?
Say it again, didn't I?
What?
The report is absolutely, it's probably 60 pages. And of all the different aspects of conduct a council member can be involved in, talking about campaigning, social media, every aspect of it. So it'll be interesting that they take, and this is all because of
a lot of this. The ink is still yet to dry on this.
And once again, being reactive because they couldn't be proactive in if something happened.
Recent events they could do nothing about.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder how many people are going to get up at oral communications and give their 2 cents.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a couple. I'm sure there's going to be a couple.
It'd be a fun meeting to watch.
That's going
Aren't
to
they
be
all?
a stacked city council meeting.
And by the way, at the same time the city council meeting is going on, the Burbank Athletic Federation is also going to meet in the Community Services Building. So
At the same time.
Same time. Because you can't have a different day when there's no meetings to have that. You have to have it at the same time as another meeting.
All right.
I don't know.
And Wednesday the 6th, this coming Wednesday the 6th of December.
Our local senator of the 25th District, Anthony Portantino, is going to honor the Women of the Year from the district, and more. Obviously, we're going to concentrate on it is the women from Burbank.
At the Castaways.
We
Haven't been there in a while.
There's about 5 or 6 recipients.
Excellent.
So we will be covering that, and we will, look for our story later in the week on that.
All right.
Also on Wednesday is our assistant city manager, Judy Wilkie. It's her retirement. And Ross, are having a shindig, or what's going on with that?
I'm told Community Services Building, where some of the other meetings meet, between 1 and 4, they're having a reception.
A shindig.
Well, okay, shindig.
But not a gala.
No.
Not a gala.
Not a ribbon cutting.
No, it's a shindig.
To say farewell to Judy Wilkie, who has spent 30 years over 30 years as a city employee. So.
And then we have 4 meetings that night. So hopefully in case you want to go to more than one meeting.
But if you time it right and bring your laptop with internet access,
you might actually.
They're kind of staggered, the start times. You might be able to go to all 4 of them.
Yes. The Domestic Violence Task Force is going to meet at 5:30 in the Community Services Building. The Civil Service Board is meeting at 4:30, but that's through Zoom.
Therefore, the laptop.
Yes. The Youth Board is going to meet at 6 p.m. in the Community Services Building. And there'll be a virtual meeting. So once again, a need for the laptop. For the Olive Avenue paving and restriping project from 6 to 7 p.m. And we'll talk about that in a second. That's actually going to be also on Thursday, but we'll talk about that in a second. I think you'll find some interesting information that Ross has. Moving on to Thursday, Ross will be up early in the morning. Or is that late at night? I can't. Was it 9 a.m.? Is that late at night for you or early in the morning?
The ribbon cutting.
Did somebody say 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
Wait. Let me.
In the antemeridium.
I don't even put my glasses on until noon.
Well, good thing your camera has autofocus.
I think so.
You don't need your glasses for
Can I
that.
go back to bed after that?
I'm sure you will.
So we got a ribbon cutting of Joseph Lamar Salon.
And I'm definitely not going to go have my hair done.
All right.
And then we've got a couple meetings that night. And of course, one being canceled because I guess they just ran out of room to have meetings, but the infrastructure...
And the community services building is popping.
The Infrastructure Oversight Committee has been canceled, so our infrastructure will just have to wait another month. Water and Power Board is going to meet at 5 o'clock at the Water and Power Building. And the Heritage Commission will meet at 5:30 in the Community Services Building. Now, another meeting, after you've got the Heritage Commission at 5:30, you can pop right over to the another community meeting and see and talk about the Olive Repavement Project at 6 p.m., which is in the Community Services Building. Now, the Olive Improvement Pavement Project, which I guess was Ross pointed out to me tonight, which is very interesting, is in case you don't know, Magnolia Park right now, they're looking at a couple of phases for traffic mitigation. The first phase is to put signals at all the intersections. And after that phase, the plan was to put a center medium down the middle of Magnolia and have traffic going in one lane of traffic on each side. But Ross has just let me know that they're actually going to do a test for that beforehand. So Ross, go ahead and tell me what you told me earlier tonight, which I found very interesting.
Well, reading the city report, what I understand is they are going to repave Olive Avenue from either Glen Oaks or 6th all the way up to Sunset
Glen
Canyon.
Oaks, Sunset Canyon, yes.
And I mean repave it, which means take the lines all the way. They are going to divide. Right now, if you go up there, it's 2 lanes east and westbound, 4 lanes. They're going to repave it and reline it for a single lane in each direction, right, like they're going to do out in Magnolia Park and other areas.
Now, you said they're going to put a medium in also?
No.
Oh, they're not?
No, not up there. This is just a trial.
Okay.
To show traffic being changed. So those residents up there, that's a raceway right
I
now.
wonder if their plan is to put a bike lane in.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
Leave room for that.
I would hope so.
I would think so. But so...
But will they put the bike lane in the middle or on the sides?
On the sides.
Well, it'll look more like
Probably
Verdugo.
a parking lane, bike lane.
In other words, they're going to change all of
single lane of travel.
the double lanes on Olive to like Verdugo.
Right. No,
I guess we'll
Center,
find out.
I don't think they're going to do this. I'm not sure.
Well, what's going to be in the middle? You got to have one lane and a bike lane. What's
they're going to do a passing lane. What's that called?
What, 2A turn lane?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like Verdugo.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
I guess it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
For access to side streets and driveways.
That's what Verdugo has right now.
It'll be different, and it's a trial. Got to remember, they're changing San Fernando Road shortly. All traffic going northbound.
I'm surprised that's taking so long.
Well, it's a city job, dude.
Well, that's what they're planning for Magnolia down the line is to put actually a medium like they have at Chandler, and then have one lane of traffic in each direction on the side. So
an actual raised median, not just the lines.
Yes,
not
with
a-
grass
like
and
we have
everything.
an actual.
Yeah,
Okay.
down the road.
kind of like they have on Glen Oaks right now.
Right.
In Glendale, not Burbank. They don't have. Oh, wait, I guess Providence.
You haven't been to
Providence is.
yes,
But not that wide. I mean, that's a huge.
Doesn't
Well,
have to. It
that's-
just has to be 2 feet.
that street. The street's a lot
Yeah,
wider there
To be a
too.
median.
Moving on, because we are 3 hours into this show.
Okay, well, just
This week is playing out real time with the
It
podcast
is,
here.
isn't it?
Real time.
let's just remember the first 10 minutes of the show how it went. On Wednesday, the Burbank Police Department wants your guns.
Not on
And-
Wednesday.
No, they
I'm
don't.
sorry, no, Wednesday. I said weekend. I saw it was Wednesday.
I was
On the
gonna say,
weekend,
them doing
on
something
Saturday, Burbank Police
Where do you
Department
go? Oh, I
wants
was
your
gonna
guns,
say.
and they're going to have a buyback program at 9 a.m. at the police headquarters, where they're going to pay $100. That's $100 for handguns and rifles.
Up to $200.
Rifles and assault weapons are $200.
Well, assault weapons can be up to $200.
Up to $200.
Yeah. It's not that Burbank Police want your guns; is they have an event to collect unwanted guns. So if you
Right.
don't want it, if a spouse passed away, a grandparent, something like that, or you found an old rifle or handgun in the attic, this is your chance to turn it in. No
Yep.
questions asked.
Right. They want you to bring the gun to them.
Yeah. But
That'll be our My Burbank headline, by the way, tomorrow.
and
Burbank
this
Police wants your
is
guns.
Saturday, December 9th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Be held in the rear parking lot of the Police and Fire Headquarters at 200 North 3rd Street. So you'll be coming off the driveway off of Palm in the back. I'm sure there'll be signage,
Plenty of signage.
but from the department, because there are some guidelines here, so you don't just walk up with a gun in your hand or something like that. Not that
Please
you
do
would.
not walk over the gun in your hand.
Please don't do that. But from the city website, you can get this off the city website. The drive-through event will provide City of Burbank residents with an opportunity to anonymously turn in their unwanted guns without having to show any identification and with no questions asked. Officers will accept all unwanted guns upon entering the rear lot of the fire headquarters, police and fire headquarters parking lot off Palm. Participants will receive a $100 gift card for each handgun, rifle, and shotgun, and or a $200 gift card for each assault weapon as defined by the state of California. And they just ask some of the following here. They're to be transported and firearms are to be transported and delivered unloaded with clips, magazines, bullets out of the gun, carried in the trunk or rear cargo area of your vehicle. And so once you get there, like I said, hopefully there'll be some signage, but you're going to stay in your car. You're not going to get out of your car. An officer, I assume, will walk up. You either pop the trunk or the tailgate of your vehicle, or unlock it so they can open it. They'll remove the items and take it from there, I guess. But no military ordnance or explosives are allowed. That's stuff for the bomb squad. They don't want you to bring that stuff.
Do not bring your bazooka.
So if you find a grenade in Grandpa's steamer trunk, don't bring it. That's a totally different
But
thing.
that is a good point, Craig. What you just said was if you're going through Grandpa's chest up
Never
in
know
the
what you'll
attic,
find.
and Grandpa had an old 38 from World War II, you don't know how to handle it. You don't
Right.
want. This is what they want.
Well, if and interesting point you bring up. If somebody doesn't know how to handle it, to find out if it's unloaded or safe, the best thing to do is not to bring it. Call the police department. Say you have a firearm you'd like to turn in for destruction, safely for destruction, and you don't know if it's loaded or not. An officer can come out and take care of that part and render it safe and all that.
Now
for
you could
so you
do
don't have
that
to
all
worry about it.
year.
You could do that
but
anytime.
because people are
You
looking.
just don't get the $100 gift card.
Right. I wouldn't.
I don't know.
I wouldn't bring a questionable weapon if you didn't know it was loaded or unloaded to this. Because it doesn't state. It just says that they have to be unloaded. So if you're not sure it's loaded or not, maybe call ahead. Maybe call the business line.
I think
238-3000.
Did they give you a
That's still the
number? I thought.
It is in
earlier?
here, and I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to go over a couple more of the requests
Safety.
here. Individuals under 18 are not permitted to carry firearms and should refrain from transporting them to the event. That makes sense. As a safety precaution, event participants are discouraged from bringing ammunition because you don't want to get the two combined somehow, right? No gift cards will be provided for ammunition. That can be surrendered to the police department any other time outside the buyback event. And important, there are no walk-ups allowed. You have to come in a vehicle.
There's a lot of safety reasons
Absolutely.
for
Yep.
this, and that's
And any part of the year, if you want to turn in a firearm for destruction, you can take it to the police department. But they're going to tell you call ahead, and they'll tell you on the phone, keep it in the trunk of the car or whatever. You walk into the station, they'll have an officer meet you at your car and retrieve it, things like that. So that's for the rest of the year. Any questions regarding this? You can go to the city website or the phone number 818-238-3240, and that'll take you to Sergeant Stephen Turner, who is
PIO.
PIO for the police department.
And this whole item, when they started it last year, falls under the PIO's. He's in charge of it, and so forth. And like you said, there are now signs if people have. A lot of people haven't been to our police department. They have no reason to go there, but there are signs at all the doorways. Do not bring any firearms, no weapons, no ammunition, anything within our building.
Kind of common sense.
But
Because
Right.
I've been at work before, and they've had to evacuate the station because somebody brought what they thought was a hand grenade for disposal into the lobby. Now we got a possible hand grenade sitting in the lobby of the police station. Everything stops for a while. So common sense, call ahead. But this is a great event to get rid of those questionable firearms, stuff you don't know what to do with. You don't want to give to will them to the next generation or whatever. Great time to do it.
yeah, this was an action item from our city council from last year. They did it last December, very, very successfully. They don't look for a ton of weapons to come in. 10 guns. I think they had 41 guns last year.
But what they get is a lot of older weapons,
Right.
A lot of bolt action rifles, not big machine guns or anything like that. But again, no questions asked, and they're not confiscating any weapons. That's not what this is about. This is about turning in and safely disposing of unwanted firearms. That's it, and with the benefit of a gift card in return.
Okay, moving on. And by the way, the reason they don't want you walking up, you park and walk up with a. They see somebody walking up with a gun in their hand. They have no idea
No.
what your even though your
Right.
intention is 100% to hand a gun over. They can't assume that.
Good
That-
point.
Yeah,
Good
that'll.
point. And just by the very nature of the event,
Yeah.
it's got to be
That's why they
a secure area.
They don't want
so.
your guns in your hands. Okay. Also on Saturday, after you turn your gun, you get a gift card. Although you can't spend it here.
Go get breakfast with Santa.
You can get breakfast with Santa.
Now, make sure you don't goof up going to.
I'll get
Which
the order right.
And that's from 9 to 11 at the Burbank Town Center. But you got to pay $15 for that. Not a free event.
Not free. Not even if you bring cookies for Santa.
Do, 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 do.
There, give me some.
Thank
Oh.
I'm
you.
telling you, all I'm hearing is the
The
shower scene from Psycho. Maybe it's my ears, my bad ears.
What can I tell you? They're also going to have on Saturday. There's going to be a fair on Magnolia between Angelino and on San Fernando between Angelino and Magnolia. on
Saturday and Sunday.
I thought the fair
From
started.
11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I thought the fair was in Pomona and starts in.
That's the county fair. This is
Oh.
the Burbank Jackalope Art and Craft Fair, which I
Ah.
think I'm going to go check out, actually. 2-day event, open to the general public, and will feature a variety of art, crafts, and gifts. Attendees will be able to find unique items and explore the creativity of exhibitors from around the region. A lot of stuff to choose from, and right before Christmas. We have lacking ideas for Christmas presents. You might find some cool stuff there. And they have a website, jackalopeartfair.com.
And you can park in those public lots currently until they start charging.
Just don't get in the elevator.
Stay out of the elevator. I heard that got sick again the other day. It was later at night. I wasn't by the computer, but I heard another call for that elevator. And I also heard one for the Metrolink elevator.
Every time I get a alert on my phone from the fire department of an elevator rescue, I look at the address now and Burbank, see if it's going to be one of the parking structures or the thing now.
Well, that leaves us up to what else is happening on.
That's it. The
That's
Metrolink
Saturday.
Holiday Express.
Metrolink Holiday Express will be hitting Burbank around 3 p.m.
That's returned.
Yes, and they're going to stop and do a little show at the Burbank Metrolink station, the one downtown Burbank.
Is that a Santa thing or is that a?
Yes,
what,
Santa will
I'm
be-
unfamiliar.
Yeah, that should be a Santa thing. Oh, there you have
Christmas.
it.
Ho, 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 ho,
There he is. He'll be there.
So Jabba the Hutt is going to be there as well.
That event from several years ago, they run it on a couple of different weekends, and this weekend it'll come through Burbank, stop at the Burbank station, Metrolink. I know there are things you can ride on that train, but it is colorful. They have a million lights on it. They collect toys, down there, and there's a lot going on. So
Done. Any place we have a website or anything? They might Metrolink website. Maybe they can
Metrolink,
probably.
It's also on the city website too.
Okay,
On the calendar.
they can a little more detail.
Yep.
Right on. Well, Mr. Sherwood,
It comes.
you know what's next.
It's the reason you listen to the show for the last hour and 20 minutes.
Put your safety goggles on, kids. It's time for.
It's coming. It's coming. We're going to come up with we need to come up with a little intro song for that or something.
I think that Ross's rant.
Yeah, the kind of the Wayne's World type.
Nothing bigger than an ant. I don't know.
I just poured water all over.
We did. Look, let's get a tight shot of that right there. There we go for our viewers.
Okay, well, here we go with this just in from the news desk. It's Ross's rant.
It sounds like when you put baseball cards in the spokes of your.
It does. Well, he didn't like the last.
Huffy.
He didn't like the last one I had, the Type machine, so I got the typewriter instead.
Title type.
Oh.
Title type. This
Here
is
we
short
go.
and sweet. To the point.
Here we go.
Christmas. I see a lot. I think I mentioned it a little last week. Getting to see a lot of decorations, and there are some great websites to look at to find some of the Burbank Christmas decorations. One of our my assistant here, my whoa.
Wow.
Hey,
Who's working
Whoa.
for who this
I don't know
week?
who he's talking to, but
Holy cow.
we're insulted.
I think I just got taken off camera after that.
Yeah.
Friend of mine.
Hello.
We're thinking about it doing our. Excuse me. Is that
What is happening over there?
Wow.
You're getting all choked
Got
up
a
over
vapor
this.
lock.
No, that. It can't work with me holding.
No, you just hear you on all the other mics. So
Boy, that Chinese chicken salad just decided to be Chinese.
it's all it's that dressing.
That's
The
what it
dressing
was.
that does it. Anyway,
Craig Derlin and I were thinking there are so many good houses. We're thinking about doing our own Christmas decoration judging. And
We're going to bring it back this year.
We are, and Craig, we're going to go load up in the car or in the train or the bus or something. Maybe we can get Burbank.
we get a
bus.
Burbank bus.
Yeah, maybe. Can we arrange that?
Have it all to ourselves.
We'd only be 3 people on it, and that's all they.
That would probably triple the ridership, though.
That's all they ever drive anyway. Is 3 people.
Be a surge.
I say I don't call them Burbank
Be a
buses. I call
surge.
them the Burbank limousines.
Oh.
'Cause they only
Well,
drive
that's
one
not,
person
so
at a
that's not
time.
that's not a rant. That's not really a rant.
Well,
That's just
no, but my rant is driving here tonight. Monday is trash day in 91505. Why the hell did I see?
Not all of 91505, but our part
a
of
good
it.
part of it. Why did I see a mattress leaning against a phone pole on Verdugo, across from Verdugo Park? Folks,
two
don't-
words:
don't.
apartment building.
No,
No,
house.
a house.
And what bugs me, I remember Adrian Gonzalez used to do a thing for
The first baseman of the Dodgers?
yes, first baseman for the Dodgers. Don't let our
Just that
city
one.
don't let our city look trashy or whatever he said. But it was if you got trash like a mattress,
A bulky item.
bulky item, call. It's free.
Well,
Go pick it up.
And that part of was it a trash day for them, or is there a trash day tomorrow? And they put it out a night before because it has to be picked
Well,
up. the
see,
next
I
day.
wonder because today is Monday. I didn't think about 2 and 2. Maybe they put it out and weren't on the list. But if they weren't, that means it sits there for a week.
And you can schedule that online
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
Go to the sanitation
do the
site. You
app.
can schedule the bulky item
You
pickup.
use the app now.
I've called them in the past, and they're very nice when you talk to them. Very nice
Well,
people.
most city
there.
employees are nice. But
Most.
Yes, they are.
all. We have a lot of them. And but it gets me. Why let our city look like it does in other parts of South Los Angeles?
Keep Burbank classy, people.
Yeah, not trashy.
The words of the great.
Adrian Gonzalez.
What's his name?
Who?
Oh, who?
Ron Burgundy.
Ron
Oh,
Burgundy.
Rock Burgundy.
Stay classy.
Stay
Stay classy, Burbank.
So get your Christmas lights out, put them up, make sure they're all working, because we're going to be checking them out soon. And with that, we're wrapping up the week that was, the week that will be, for December 4th. We're only 3.5 hours into the show,
I think it's now Tuesday.
and I still got water pouring down my belly button.
Oh, geez. For later.
That's a good graphic, huh?
For the after show.
Well, that's it for another edition. Ross Benson, Craig Julian, along with Craig Sherwood saying thank you for listening. And we will talk to you again next week.
Good night, everybody. My Burbank Talks would like to thank all of My Burbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Game Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street. How would you like your business advertised in this very spot? My Burbank Talks is looking for local businesses interested in a 30-second spot to appear in our podcasts. If you're interested, please email advertising@myburbank.com, and we'll be glad to discuss all the exciting possibilities with you.